Her husband and children were at her side. McCartney is being remembered as a photographer, musician, and activist.
Well, the family have put out a statement within the last half an hour saying, quote, "If you want to make some sort of tribute to Linda, go veggie," a reference to the fact that she was a great animal rights campaigner. And in the last few minutes, Cherie Blair, the wife of Prime Minister Tony Blair, who was due to meet Linda next week to discuss a campaign on breast cancer in this country, issued a statement saying everyone has been inspired by the courage Linda has shown. She brought comfort to women everywhere suffering from this terrible affliction.
The McCartney marriage was one of the show business's most enduring unions. Their publicist said the couple spent only one night apart in the 30 years they were married. Other news, a doctor says Chinese...
missing the knighting of her husband by the Queen of England. She was back in view last year at the Paris showing of her daughter Stella McCartney's fashion collection. Her husband of 29 years was at her side Friday when she passed away in Santa Barbara, California. Horseback riding was one of Linda's passions. McCartney's office said in a statement the two had gone riding together just 2 days before her death. Mark Shearer, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
The McCartney family is mourning its loss in private, but released a statement today saying the blessing was that the end came quickly and that she didn't suffer. And for fans who might want to honor the tribute that Linda herself would like best, go veggie. Linda McCartney underwent treatment for her breast cancer, and her death is a sobering reminder that despite progress against the disease, there are no guarantees. CNN's senior medical correspondent Dan Rutz has our report.
Linda McCartney lived less than 3 years after surgery for breast cancer. Within months of the operation, she'd received chemotherapy, given when there's evidence or concern that some cancer has spread beyond the original tumor. Early signs of metastasis, as it's called, are often hard to measure. It may be weeks, months, or many years before symptoms or tests reveal new tumors elsewhere in the body. Such re-established cancers, typically in the bones, brain, or, as in McCartney's case, the liver, are rarely cured. When former First Lady Betty Ford told the world about her breast cancer, she won praise for breaking the stigma that had kept many women from openly discussing the subject. Some 23 years later, Ford is alive and apparently cancer-free. Nancy Reagan also lost a breast to cancer when she was First Lady, and she too has had no reported recurrence in the more than 10 years since her diagnosis. In the last few years, the breast cancer death rate has fallen slightly. Doctors credit improved treatment and detection methods. And just this month, a study of the drug tamoxifen suggests it may help prevent the disease. But for the most part, doctors have had little concrete advice to offer women who want to prevent breast cancer. Evidence that a low-fat diet helps is far from conclusive. Linda McCartney, for one, was an avid vegetarian when her breast cancer was found. The chances of surviving breast cancer are better for those whose tumors are caught early. But even among those with the smallest cancers, 1 out of 10 suffers a recurrence within 10 years. That uncertainty leads one prominent specialist to say, the only way you know for sure you've beaten it is when you die of something else. Dan Rutz, CNN.
It has been a day for solemn remembrances, among them one in Texas, marking the fiery end to a standoff 5 years ago.
McCartney, the New York photographer who married Beatles superstar Paul, is dead. Good evening, everyone. A sad announcement from Santa Barbara, California today.
Linda Eastman McCartney, the wife and musical partner of a rock idol, is dead at the age of 56. McCartney died Friday at the couple's Santa Barbara home with her 4 children at her side. Since December 1995, McCartney was fighting breast cancer and seemed to be recovering, but the cancer spread. Robbie Chavez looks back at the life of Linda McCartney.
Some days I look at you with eyes that shine.
It was on her horse Lucky Spot that Linda McCartney seemed to find peace most often. 2 days before her death Friday, she took a ride with her Beatles husband, Paul McCartney. The two had one of the longest marriages in show business. In 1969, Linda McCartney became the envy of women worldwide, marrying the Beatles superstar. Today, fans mourn her death.
I'm
pretty shocked. We had no idea that she was even ill, and I think that we take it a little bit harder when we don't know that someone's sick.
Well, I think she did a lot for animal rights, so I think that'll be one of her main legacies, and also just with breast cancer as well.
People forgot they were being photographed and just relaxed.
It was a long and winding road for the Scarsdale-born daughter of a wealthy lawyer. She became a celebrity photographer, dating the likes of Warren Beatty before meeting the Beatles' heartthrob in the late 60s. After Beatles fans mourned the group's bitter breakup, Linda McCartney helped form the 70s band Wings with her husband. Despite harsh criticism for her singing style, the couple performed together for years. In one of her final public appearances, Linda McCartney appeared with Paul as they watched one of their 3 children, Stella, debut as a fashion designer on the catwalks of Paris.
We'll tell her.
Great.
Super, super.
We told you she was good.
Linda and Paul McCartney announced in December of 1995 that she was battling breast cancer. The treatment seemed to be working at least up until March. That's when the cancer spread to her liver.
They're quick, easy, and delicious.
Most recently, her latest success was as a businesswoman, even appearing in commercials for her meat-free dishes. The successful photographer, musician, and writer said